G'day, it's Roger Manins here again on Smooth Jazz Volume 2. Um, Back here in New Caledonia, where really the vibe is very conducive to the old smooth jazz type playing. You'll find that setting and mood is one of the greatest gifts towards smooth jazz that you will find. But there are other things, other aspects that you can put into your playing which will help. For instance, reed. You want to have a soft reed. Now, what I'm doing as a teacher, I am actually using the antithesis of what we should be using for smooth jazz. I've got a 10-star mouthpiece and a 4 hard reed. Now, what I'm trying to get here is that you can still play smooth jazz when it's hard for you, which means that it's going to be easier if you use different setup, like maybe a metal mouthpiece, something really bright, like a Rovner, very good, and one of those, other ones, Duke-Off, whatever, Burglass, and Burglass is not so much smooth jazz, it's a bit robust, but I'm just using a Jody Jazz 10-star at the moment because I haven't got another mouthpiece with me to really play this style. But what I'm trying to get at is that it doesn't matter about what mouthpiece or what reed you're playing, what horn. I've got a lovely, P. Moriat 86 here, bloody good. It's about your emotion, mate. It's about in here. It's about how to express that emotion through the music. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, you can't, can I get emotion at a shop? No. You can't read it on a piece of paper, emotive here, X, Y, 3, which means 3 degrees of emotion, or that sort of thing. No, you have to look deep in yourself. Now, I suggest meditation, yoga, big long walks down beaches such as this, yes, things like that. I can't think of anything else, I'm sorry. But the other thing, look, this is it. This is the big thing about smooth jazz. It's you've got to listen to the masters, the ones who really count. Now, there's only one, and that's Kenny G. You know that. Don't even go there with the others. The other thing is you can use some very good saxophones from China that will help. The parrot, the swallow, the dolphin, anything that swims or flies will help you with your smooth jazz. The dolphin, the parrot, what did I say? The swallow is another one that will help you with your smooth jazz playing, because it isn't about intonation. It isn't about, that sort of thing. It's about getting that emotion. Now, let's just look at one note. Let's say B. Now, if you're not sure, it's just there. Just remember that where. Just one finger there and you'll be fine. The approach has to be slurred up. Now, I did it a bit too on then, but it's when you get the note, then you do the trill. Now, it's really good to get the facial expressions in there, the eyebrows down, really help, because sometimes you have to fake it until you make it. If you're not really feeling the emotion, just act as though you are, and it'll come to you, because that is like God, perhaps, or your higher power will come into you and go through your playing. Your soul will I know what Pat Metheny said when Rejoice on that album, rejoice. Get in there, mate. So, now, that's the hardest, that's very difficult to play smooth jazz on this setup, but I'm saying, I still can. I'll sound much better on a much closed, less, mouthpiece and a smaller reed, and maybe a brighter saxophone like a Yamaha, anything, or that'll do. That's good for smooth jazz. Anyhow, so there you go. So in lesson 1, we talked about approaching the notes. We're going to talk a bit about more about that, and some good practice scales you can do. Now, as I said, G major is very good. Don't want to go any higher than, you can do, but then a bit. I was going to say on the first go you don't want to go too high, but you know you can go. And of course, the higher you get, the more effective it is. Now, it doesn't matter about intonation. I said, you know, that was great what I just played. You know, that would, you know, if a couple were on a beach about to make love and they heard that, bang, they'll be straight there. But of course, you can start lower. Now, improvisation on the smooth jazz is about, what is improvisation? It's about mixing the notes up from the G major scale and putting those approaches in there, and of course getting the old emotion in there. Oh, my collar's wrong. My gosh, that's much better. Like this. So you can choose any note, but as long as you approach it with that upper tone trill down to the note, you'll be fine. Actually, sorry, I was actually doing semitones, upper semitone, but it's up to your prerogative. It's your prerogative what you want to do. Now, what I was just going to get onto then was the chromatic scale. Now, if you're going to be improvising and you want to play anything fast, the chromatic scale is the one. This is very difficult, the chromatic scale. It involves playing every note on the saxophone in a very ordered fashion. Basically, you start on G, you play G sharp, A, B flat, B, C, C sharp, D, that's a very difficult one, D, E flat, E, F, F sharp, G. Now, you can go higher if you want, A, G, G sharp, bang, 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 and up until the upper regions. That's where you're really going to get your audience. If you can play high, your audience will love that. I'm just going to get a bit more of this lovely, beautiful backdrop here. So the chromatic scale is what you can use to fill in the major scale. Let me just play it for you nice and slow. Now that's quite difficult. You've got to get that down nice and fast. It'll probably take you maybe a few days. Notice how I filled that up. I went to the third to the second with a trill, and then a D to the C with a trill in there, and doing the chromatic scale between. Now, I'm hearing a beautiful tune. I'm hearing some lovely keys there. Can you hear that? And that's how you compose, by the way. It's easy. Now, let's just pretend that you can hear that background. Chromatic scale, you heard that there. And pretty much that's it for smooth jazz playing. A bit of the old chromatic scale, a bit of the approach notes, and actually learned how to play the scales on the saxophone. As I said, G major. You got A major. C major. And when you practice them, try and get smooth when you practice with the scales.